From the pop-top can to the engine for the Wright Flyer, Alcoa has been inventing and reinventing products for more than a century, and many of those innovations came from right here in our region. Out at the Alcoa Technical Center in Westmoreland County, almost 700 scientists and engineers are still at it, coming up with new and improved ways to use aluminum in everything from automobiles to aerospace. Ray Kilmer is Executive Vice President and Chief Technical Officer with Alcoa. Welcome. Good to see you.
It's great to be here, Bill. Thank you.
Yeah, I know a lot of Pittsburghers, I think, know by heart Alcoa and the pop-top can for a beer can, near and dear to every Steelers fan. But there's really a lot more to the company's history of innovation than just that.
Oh, absolutely. When you look at what our founder, Charles Martin Hall, did when he first found the cost-effective way to make aluminum, that was really just the start. In order to be able to do something with that aluminum, you really have to alloy. You have to add other elements, copper, magnesium, zinc, those types of things. And you also have to learn how to process it. It's actually fairly complex. So the first 125 years, we've been very focused on new processes, new alloys, new products. And if you step back and reflect a little bit on what we've been able to do as a company over 125 years, it's amazing. Let me give you a sense for that. We were on the crankcase for the engine for the Wright Flyers at Kitty Hawk. So we were right there at the beginning of the aerospace industry. We made aluminum door panels for the Model T, the Ford Model T out in New Kensington, right at the beginning of the automotive industry. Power transmission cables that you see strung along the highway there, those are an early invention of Charles Martin Hall. We're still working on new iterations and improvements in that area. Brazing sheet, and you see that behind me, evaporator, is a product that was developed in the 50s by Alcoa and is in every car today that you drive around. A radiator, condenser, evaporator, all that was developed by Alcoa right here in Pittsburgh, and it's still part of the cars we drive today. Aluminum foil, prior to that is tin. If you remember, my parents always used to call it tin foil.
I remember that. I remember my parents and grandparents. Yeah.
Right, but in the 30s, Alcoa launched that as a commercial product and became a household item in every house in America. And since then, we've just been, like you said, the pop top, the easy pull-off tab was an invention of Alcoa, as was a number of other products in that same package innovation area. The one-piece aluminum bottle, which is something that we've been working on since the late 90s and continues to be an innovative product for us, as well as some of the shaped packages we're working on today.
And so where do you go from here? I mean, what are you cooking up out at the Technical Center these days?
Yeah, one of the things that aluminum really offers, our chairman, Dr. Klaus Kleinfeld, calls it the miracle metal, and it really offers a lot of opportunities for lightweighting still. For example, with the corporate average fuel economy increasing to over 50 miles a gallon in the future, the car companies need to take more and more weight out of the vehicles in order to get the performance and the mileage that the consumers need. The next real big foray in that area is to take weight out of the structure, the chassis, what the car companies call the body in white, which is really the frame. The challenge there, though, is that it's a multi-piece product that has to be joined. And a car today isn't going to be all aluminum, it'll be a multi-material solution which includes steel and plastics. So the challenge that the car companies have is, how do I bring all of these together in a robust way that is cost effective so I can sell the car at a price point consumers want and have it last 20 years.
So one of the things Alcoa really needs to solve, and maybe you have already, is this idea of how do you bond it? How does it play? How does it play nicely with those other materials, right?
Absolutely. So how do we help integrate aluminum into that frame and structure of the car and do it in a cost-effective way? One way is to try to build better and stronger alloys so that they can be as light and strong as possible, but helping them with the assembly process, the joining process, is a central focus. We have a new product that we launched called A951, and it's a pre-treatment, basically a coating on the sheet that allows the car companies to get the most out of adhesive bonding and at the same time use that same sheet to either fasten two pieces together or weld pieces together. The coating doesn't get in the way of the two pieces coming together and being welded together. So it's really a big innovation, and we're seeing and forecasting well over 2 billion pounds, that's with a B, billion pounds of growth in that segment due to the structural portions of automobiles going to aluminum-intensive structures over the next 10 years.
Pretty amazing. So a big upside in big things, automobiles and aerospace, but there's new Alcoa products that a lot of us are probably carrying around every day.
Yeah, absolutely. You can't go through a day without touching a product that Alcoa invented at some point. One of the things that we're working on that people use every day now is consumer electronics. We have a product called ColorCast, and you see some of the products here to the side, which is basically a special alloy that can be injected into a mold very quickly and then anodized and finished to a color that's very cosmetically pleasing. This way the consumer gets the metallic feel, gets the strength of having a metallic enclosure to their phone or tablet or iPad, and has the durability of a metal product going forward at a price point that's very competitive. So things like the LED light bulbs are coming. It's part of a substantial growth for aluminum. The heatsink is made out of aluminum, as well as all the enclosures that you'd see in consumer electronics products.
And an awful lot of this coming right out here.
All of it coming out of our facility here in Pittsburgh.
That's great to hear. Great to hear that kind of innovation still happening here in Pittsburgh after 125 years. Ray Kilmer, thanks so much. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Bill.
Next up, Alcoa is a great example of the history of innovation in our region that in many ways made the modern world. We'll be right back.